Namas, this is Liam in for Bear. Today's ask, tear down the cli-explainer skill, the file that turns a Claude build session into a video. The skill answered with a spine and 3 laws, and the interesting part is what it refuses to let you fake: the code, the motion, and the second try. Act 1, every CLI video runs on one fixed spine, and the skill prints that spine like source code, because that is exactly what it is. The core logic is unchanged from the terminal days: show prompt, show code, show output. 2 surfaces alternating, the session where you type and the thing the typing made. Everything else in the file exists to keep that alternation honest. Here's the spine, rebuilt from the skill's own block. Intro, problem, then the cycle, cli, code, output, then cycle 2, flagged in the source itself as the revision. Summary, next steps, outro, every station required in the 16:9 cut. So we ask Claude to run that spine as a machine, feed a build in one end, watch the stations light in order. Problem, build, run, check, change, what it means, what's next, the skill's own through line. And watch the loop back. This pipeline is not a line, it is a line with a stitch in it. The stitch is where the teaching happens. This is teardown logic, older than software. A mechanic does not photograph the assembled engine and call it understanding. The parts come out, in order, every one of them accounted for on the bench. Pull back and the whole build is legible at once. That is what a beat spine is, an exploded parts diagram for a working session. Nothing stays hidden inside the housing. Act 2, the first law, and the reason a finished-looking video can still be incomplete. The file's exact words: a CLI video without a check-in change is incomplete, not weaker, incomplete. 1 cycle proves the tool ran, only a 2nd cycle proves somebody looked at what came back. Watch it enacted, the first output lands plausible and wrong in one place. The revised prompt reads updating, the code diffs, and the second output moves exactly where the first one failed. The delta is the lesson, everything before it was set up. The chess clock is the honest picture of a build session. The machine moves, the clock comes back to you, verify, decide, revise. A session where the clock never returns is not collaboration, it is dictation. And revision is not rework, it is the finishing pass. The lathe's first cut makes the shape, the second cut on the same part makes the surface. The skill bakes that second cut into the format itself. One carve-out stated plainly. The shorts cut ships a single cycle to fit the 3-minute cap and points at the 16:9 for the complete example. Revision is a 16:9 requirement, a limit honored by pointing, never by pretending. Act 3, the second law, what is allowed to appear inside a code beat. The code beat shows the real source of the artifact, trimmed to the lines that teach. Then the ban lands twice, never pseudocode, never prose restyled as code. If the file on screen never ran, the beat is fiction. Trimming is the craft, 40 lines collapse to the handful that carry the mechanism, the mapping, the one denominator that matters. What survives is still runnable truth, just cropped. Cropping is honest, substitution is not. And the 3 surfaces have to agree. Prompt, code, output, 1 receipt. The ask must plausibly generate the code shown. The code shown must plausibly produce the output. Break either link and the receipt is forged. Act 4, the third law governs the output slot, and it has exactly 1 rule. The output beat is a video, never a static image. Watch the failure mode, a finished chart pasted in as a frame, rejected. The same chart drawing itself on, legal. If one frame seems to be the artifact, animate its reveal or ship a slate. The rule is enforced by the resolver, not by good intentions. 1 precedence line, an MP4 wins, then a manim render, then a PNG, then the slate. The pipeline structurally prefers motion, a still is the second to last resort. And when nothing is ready, every output beat is a slate until the motion is dropped in, a labeled placeholder naming exactly what belongs there. Shippable for review, impossible to mistake for done. A slate is a request, not a lie. The oldest proof that the still was never the point, a flipbook. Any single page is a drawing, only the thumb makes it a fact about motion. The output beat is the thumb, not the page. Act 5, 3 interfaces, 1 variable, and a rename is all it takes. 3 skins, Claude, cream page, warm ink, 1 terracotta accent, onto the generic dark terminal. Codex, the codex interface, real components, same spine, same bookends, same props underneath. The skin is a costume, the anatomy never changes. Here is the whole migration. Claude Composer ask becomes Nick Bear Brown terminal ask becomes Codex Composer ask. The scene name swaps while the props block holds perfectly still. Converting a sheet between skins is a scene rename, the props carry over. 1 variable, isolated by design. 2 dials and nothing else. The tool flag turns the skin. The persona flag turns the voice. Everything the episode actually teaches rides beneath both dials, untouched. New tools slot in as skins, new voices slot in as personas. Act 6, the design tell, the one sentence that gives away what this format really is. The reel is a reconstruction of how the artifact was built with Claude, not a recording, a reconstruction. The honesty standard is plausibility under audit. Every piece on screen has to survive both links of the receipt, every frame legible, staged, and checkable. A film set is the right analogy. A kitchen built to be shot reads truer on camera than a real kitchen would, and behind the facade, the scaffolding stands in plain view. Honest reconstruction lets you see that it is a set. The cost judged straight, a real session branches, dead ends retries the prompt that went nowhere. The spine prunes all of that to one clean stitch. The receipt is real, but it is curated. You see the build that worked, never the search for it. So weigh the trade. The format buys verifiability, real code, moving proof, a mandatory second look. It costs candor about the mess. The skill leans verifiable, and that is the right lane. A curated receipt that audits clean beats and unedited when you cannot check. Let's recap with Claude. One fixed spine problem, build, run, check, change. The revision law, a build video without a check and change is incomplete. The actual code law, real source, trimmed to the lines that teach, never pseudocode. Output beats move, a pasted still is a defect. And the skins are one variable, Claude onto codex, swapped by rename while the props carry over. Your turn, here is the prompt. Use the cli-explainer skill to plan a beat sheet reconstructing something I actually built this week. Name the thing. Write the problem, beat, the stakes before any prompt appears. Show the ask I would type and pick the real lines of my code that teach the mechanism, trimmed, never pseudocode. Design the output beat as motion and say exactly what moves. Then plan one revision cycle, what to check in the first output, and what the revised prompt changes, and flag any beat where the receipt would be tempting to fake. Run it on the thing you actually shipped this week. The test is the revision beat. If you cannot say what you checked and what you changed, you watched a tool run, you did not build with it. Claude revised, Liam in for bear.